Hey everyone, welcome to this weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast for the week of July 10th through the 16th of 2023. All right, so this week, a bit of a quiet week astrologically. This week we are ending the current lunar month, and so we'll have a new moon very early next week on Monday. So the energies are certainly dying down as we close out this week and this lunar month, and so it's good to do so, especially towards the end of the week. Good to do a bit of that reset, maybe turn a little bit inward and create some space for those new beginnings around the corner. But coming into the week, we will still be in the third quarter moon, which is quite good for taking action and implementing things, especially in the context of any new perspectives we gained about a week prior. Because a week prior we had the full moon, and so it is a good first part of the week for implementing any new perspectives we've had there. And that is where we have one major aspect here this week on Monday. Mercury, the planet of our minds and communication, will be opposite up to deep Pluto. So good to balance out any of that depth, especially with what we're thinking about, maybe what we're learning, and also in those communications, as well as oftentimes oppositions can come through our one-on-one connection. So mindfulness there to balance out some of that depth, but it can be extremely constructive, great for research, uncovering deep stuff, and again, communicating in a deeper way as well. Then midweek around Wednesday, we have the sun squaring Chiron, maybe a little bit of a healing to do or available with our self-expression. And then around Friday, we have the sun sextile Uranus, just a bit of an opening for some spontaneity and change in our day-to-day lives. All right, so let's go and take a look at all of this here in more detail when we return. Alrighty, so here is the sky for this week. We're going to look at this for each day of the week, starting first with Monday, July 10th. And as you can see here, we are using the visible sky with the uneven constellations as they're seen visibly. So if you are new to this channel, definitely check out that link down below for more information, because the signs do change from mainstream astrology. All right, so let's do a little bit of a recap. Again, here's the aspects of the week, really some minor aspects going on with that opposition up to Pluto early in the week. And again, the new moon, which will be around Monday of next week. And so coming into the week, again, good for that action and initiative to implement those full moon energies from a week ago. But certainly as we go through the week, doing a bit of a closeout and letting those energies die down for those new beginnings. The sun is finishing Gemini here this week, and so the focus is still good on learning and communication. There's been a available energy here to use our more inquisitive mind, our curiosity, our interested selves, and this can also come through in those bit of social energies, as Gemini can often be sometimes connecting with peers, neighbors. A little bit of that social energy can also be great, and just a great source of energy, really, when the sun is here. Mercury is in Cancer, so our minds and communications are likely a little bit more connected to the emotional realms, and that's going to be this way this week as well. And so good to maybe be connecting to how things relate to us emotionally, maybe reflecting on our past a little bit, maybe accessing a bit of that caring, protective, and nurturing nature when it comes to our communications as well. So a bit of that mental and emotional energy is certainly emphasized, but there is that fire with Venus and Mars in Leo. Both of these planets do deal with more of the interpersonal and relational spheres, so it's a great time to be enjoying a bit of fun, playfulness, self-expression in those relationships, and just likely a good way to get things done now at the moment. In order to unlock a lot of the motivation and drive of Mars, could be good to see how things can be more in alignment with our heart and more of what we're passionate about, or just, again, getting more of that light-hearted, playful energy involved, which can help move things forward as well. So that's really where the concentration of the energy is in these three constellations. So starting first with Monday here, the moon will be in Pisces, by the way, and that's closing out the weekend of Pisces. So it's been a good weekend for a little bit of that turning inward and receptivity, listening more to our soul and really reconnecting with our soul. But in the third quarter moon, it's good to sort of implement this. So I would say on Monday, how can we go with the flow a little bit, be more accepting for how things are in our life, and see if we can implement some of that spiritual approach to things in our everyday sphere. And just all in all, acceptance, compassion, receptivity really is the name of the game with Pisces. But when it does come to our minds and communications, that is getting a dose of that depth of Pluto. And so it is a great day to bring that mindfulness to the depths, right? And so in this case, being aware of how we might be thinking about things, maybe wanting to get to the truth, wanting to get to the bottom of things, and wanting to connect in a deeper way. And so that mindfulness will help us balance out this energy just so it doesn't go to any over or under extremes, as oppositions can sometimes be. And so sometimes, wanting to go too far into the truth and depth to where it might be not as considerate or, not as mindful, or not enough, maybe just not interested. So being open to depth, truth, rawness, realness, and finding the constructive way of doing that. Again, a great time for research, uncovering deep things about ourselves, our lives, and just, our external environment in general. And in those communications as well, because oppositions do often mirror relationships, because it's us and the other person, hence the opposition. And so if there is something coming in that maybe is a type of communication or interaction where it feels like we could react to it or really get caught up into the fear of it or the attachment to it, again, the mindfulness can help us balance that out. And again, finding that constructive way to really gain personal power here, personal empowerment, to really see that there's really nothing in life that can truly take away that power of ours, that true power, that true self-power, unless we give it away. And so also being aware of where we might be giving our power away, whether it's to situations, whether it's to individuals, whether it's to the fears and inhibitions, and recognizing that, of course, true power is never taken away, and so sort of reclaiming that. So whether we're reclaiming that with our perspective or we're reclaiming that with our communications, it can be a great time to do so here on Monday. And that's going to be part of the new moon as well, which I'll talk about next week in terms of incorporating some of that empowerment of Pluto. All right, once we do get to Tuesday, the moon will shift into Aries, and so the theme will be on perhaps, again, some of that initiative and taking some of that receptivity that we gained from over the weekend and Monday into a bit of some proactive energy. I think Tuesday and Wednesday are great days for a bit of that proactivity, a little bit of initiative, and a bit of that fiery nature. Once we do get to Wednesday, the sun will be scoring up to Chiron, and so not a major aspect here, but just a good time to maybe heal some of that self-expression. The sun is all the things that we love and we're passionate about in life, and Chiron can show us where, again, maybe there's some healing to do, similarly to Pluto. So anything that feels like maybe a fear or inhibition to express ourselves, and then doing so in the face of those wounds, can be very therapeutic, very healing, and also just a simple act of self-expression or creative energy or having fun could be very healing as well. So recognizing that as available and can be very constructive way to work with this sort of middle part of the week. Once we do get to the late Wednesday time, the moon will shift into Taurus all the way through until late Saturday. So for almost the rest of the week there, a good time to really reconnect with our inner strength. Taurus the bull is an earth sign. That's all about taking things one step at a time and connecting to that inner strength. So good time to take things a bit steadily. A good time to access that self-reliance, that self-value, self-worth, right? Inner strength. But also connect to that externally. As the moon does like to be here, it's usually a good time to connect to some nature, maybe just a good meal, some relaxation, some luxuries even, some of those comforts of life and earthy elements of life, which can be great, let's say, for the remainder or the second half of the week there. Once we do get to late Friday, the sun will be sextiling Uranus, so just a bit of an opening for some spontaneity, some change, and probably with that self-expression as we are easing up off of that, perhaps more healing energy or transformative energy with self-expression the early to middle part of the week. So probably feeling that post healing and a bit free there. And so it's just a bit of an opening to let out some of that individual self-expression, the unorthodoxy that we all have, the uniqueness that we all have, the challenging of the status quo. And so great time to view life in this way and again express ourselves in this way, as it is certainly available. All right, and then like I said, the moon in Taurus, and then very late Saturday and then all day Sunday, the moon will be in Gemini, closing out the lunar cycle. Again, this is the approaching the lowest energy of the lunar month, so good for a bit of that reset. And with Gemini specifically, it's what this whole lunar cycle has been about. So maybe also not necessarily mentally, but spiritually reflecting on the past month and what we've cultivated or what we can, close out and finalize regarding learning, regarding social energy, regarding communication. This has been the theme for the month. And so anything that's about closing that out or tying up any loose ends with that is fantastic. All right, everyone, so that is the week in a nutshell. Most important thing is closing out this lunar month this week, but using some of that active energy early in the week to do so. Great to find that balance with that depth and empowerment of Pluto, especially in those day-to-day and perhaps communicative energies, but really with our perspective on things. A little bit of a healing energy available midweek with that self-expression, and then probably feeling a bit healed with it, and maybe like letting out some of that individual self-expression towards the later part of the week. All right, so everyone have a fantastic week. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click the like button if you're watching this on YouTube. And if you're not yet signed up for MTZ Insiders, it is a free newsletter. We do get these videos released first before YouTube and extra content not normally released on YouTube. If you haven't yet signed up down below, definitely do so. But have a great week, everyone, and I'll see you all next time for the next astrology forecast. Take care.